The advertisement which had gone out actually did not have the names of the constituencies. They did not even give us, as the members of parliament, the amount allocated. And in some instances, you are having a road which is touching on 2 constituencies. So you can't tell this belongs to my constituency or to the neighboring constituency. So my question is, why was this ANFAT suspended? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The supplementary question with respect to basically the works that had been advertised and on account of projected revenues, which was not met because of the shortfall on the 22% RMLF collection, which comes through the fuel collection. Honorable members, I was with the Committee on Roads and Transport last week, and this question was alive. And what we have done is to compute the savings on the actual contracts achieved vis-a-vis the budget that was allocated to every road. And my team, honorable members, which is here with me, are computing the savings to be able to address the shortfall and therefore mitigate the challenge that the members face over projects that had been advertised, committed, and works done. And as of yesterday, I think KERA did pass through the board the amounts due to the shortfall and will be dispersed shortly. I think that will address the question of the shortfall with respect to the challenge that arises when budgeting is not properly done. We'll need to really look at estimates on what we think we should be able to collect on RMLF due to the volume of petroleum that the country will consume and ensure that we do not run into this challenge. But as regarding the shortfall or whether the RMLF is reducing, I think in the subsequent questions we'll see the RMLF growing from 2019-2020 and progressively all the way to almost 100% growth by the year 2022-23. So the challenge of overestimating the revenues, going out to tender for roads on estimates that may not be achieved. We'll work very closely to ensure with EPRA and the people who give us the estimates for the petroleum products that will be consumed so that we do not get into that situation. But like I've said, as of yesterday, the board of KERA met and approved the shortfall based on the savings and will be able to mitigate that challenge. With respect to Edith Nyense's concern of the suspended advertisements which had gone out, I think we are going to re-advertise by next week. That's what I'm advised. And therefore, we'll be able to address that challenge. Let me, in the course of this sitting, I'll get more details. And if that is not satisfactory, I'll be able to address that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kandia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 167 of 2023. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the criteria used by Kenya Road Sport to determine the amount of funds to allocate to each constituency? 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed analysis of monies that Kenya Road Sport has dispersed to all the 290 constituencies from the year 2019 to 2023? 3, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a comprehensive list of roads each of the 47 counties that Kenya Road Sport has allocated monies to in the recent past? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the question, Honorable Joshua Kandie. Honorable members, Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999 lays out how the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF, is allocated to the road agencies, more specifically Section 6, 2D1 and 2 of the KRB Act, that's the Kenya Roads Board Act, stipulates the following allocation to constituencies: 22%, honorable members, which shall be deposited into a special bank account to be called Constituency Road Fund Account, to be maintained by every constituency of the allocated funds, and is allocated equally to all constituencies in the country and to be administered by the Rural Roads Authority. Another 10% of the allocated funds is set and allocated for the maintenance of development of link roads between constituencies, like was mentioned by Honorable Edith Nyensa, and to serve as government counterpart funds in funding works on rural roads to be administered by, again, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and that the said percentage or percentum shall be equally distributed to all the constituencies, like the 22%, where Kenya Rural Roads Authority has the mandate. Honorable members, each constituency received RMLF funds in the last 4 financial years as shown in that table. I hope, honorable members, with respect to 22%, for the year 2019-2020, it was every constituency received 21,564,277. The following year, 2020-21, each constituency received the 22% portion at 22,642,491. And in the year 21-22, each constituency received 25,319,331. And in 2022-23, each constituency under the 22% received 42,598,809. And similarly, I have tabulated the receipt amount under the 10% critical link roads for the 4 financial years. And the totals, like I said, have moved progressively in 2019-2020 from 31,366,221 to 61 million in 2022-23 to 61,961,904, which is some good progression. Honorable members, Section 19(4) of KRB Act mandates the board to consolidate the annual roads works program submitted to it by roads agencies into annual public roads program. You will normally see the APRP for approval by the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Finance. The roads funded in each constituency are detailed in the approved APRP for KERA for the previous 4 financial years, which I've attached, and Speaker, allow me to table the annual roads works program as requested. This is the annual roads program, both from the year 2021-22, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 21-22, and 22-23, with all the annual work programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, honorable members, before we go to the next, Honorable Elisha, order. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery 2 very distinguished ladies from the East African region, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, the Honorable Anita Among, otherwise known as Triple A, and the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Julia Acton, who is also the President of the IPU. The two speakers and speakers from other East African community states, Rwanda, Burundi, Republic of South Sudan, Somalia, and DRC are in Kenya attending a meeting of the Bureau of the Speakers of the East African Community, chaired by yours truly. And we have had a wonderful meeting this morning. Among other things is the expansion and integration of the people of the East African region in truly fostering free movement of people, goods, and services, moving towards monetary union and broadening the integration of our region. On your behalf and on my behalf, I welcome the two speakers to the gallery of our parliament. Yes, Millie Odhiambo, 1 minute.
It was me, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the delegation of the IPU in Kenya, I just wish to congratulate our president. And Kenya played a very significant role in ensuring that she was elected. And also on behalf of the women of this parliament, we are very proud when we see women speakers. And we are looking forward to the next speaker, we don't want to remove you, but the next woman speaker sitting there. So we are very happy to have them and welcome to Kenya. Thank you. Both of them are known to me and I'm very happy to see them both.
They are women, all right, but they are speakers out of their competence, beyond the agenda. KJ?
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And because you have already welcomed the very esteemed speakers, I would want to only put in one word, Mr. Speaker. One is to congratulate the ladies for being able to ascend not only to the apex of their parliaments, but also for great leadership in the continent, identifying that the Honorable Tulia Ackson is our IPU president, and Kenya played a very big role in ensuring that she secured the seat. Myself and the Honorable Millie Odhiambo were her chief campaigners, ensuring that she secures that seat. And through you, Mr. Speaker, we would just like to request that when you're having the deliberations, maybe you might want to whisper to your counterparts that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission. Maybe they might just get the message home that we are looking for that seat and they might want to support us. Just kurudisha mkono, Mr. Speaker. And I thank you truly for this opportunity. Asante sana.
For your information, in our bureau meeting, we acknowledge that we have a candidate for the African Union Commission, and we agreed that he is indeed a candidate from the East African region and shall enjoy the support of the East African region. Thank you. We'll go back to our questions.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I am satisfied. However, I would allow
if you are satisfied,
member.
there is no however. Let's go to the next question. The Honorable Gonzi Rai.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask question number 178/2023 and says, could the Cabinet Secretary explain why Kenya National Highway Authority, KENHA, issued demolition notices against the Mackinnon Road Trading Center buildings approved by the Kwale County government in 2020 and constructed away from the Mombasa-Nairobi Highway into brackets A109 Road Reserve as clearly depicted on the approved map of the highway. 2, explain why owners of the buildings purportedly earmarked for demolition by KENHA were not involved prior to to the issuance of the demolition notices and clarify whether they shall be compensated before such demolition if the ministry plans to expand the highway. 3, provide copies of updated maps, if any, illustrating the changes done to the road reserve dimensions of the Mombasa-Nairobi highway into brackets A109. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Konzirai. On this particular one, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, the notices were issued because the buildings were within the road reserves as marked through the road reserve boundary posts that were installed in the year 2018. I have got prepared an appendix 2, which, like the Honorable Member Konzirai did request, which will show that we did indeed mark the road reserve area, and we have a document that I will table to basically confirm that. The markings were installed under the project for rehabilitation of Bajuma Gate, Maji Chumvi Road, which was completed on 28 February 2018. The notices, Honorable Member Speaker, of encroachment were issued to 58 entities at the Makinon Trading Center on 2nd February 2023. And there are no current plans to expand the highway. However, the road reserves have been marked using concrete boundary posts since 2018, and the owners have been aware of the boundary. The ministry does not compensate honorable members for demolition of structures that are encroaching on the road reserve. Since issuance of the notices, some entities have removed their structures while others continue to encroach. And in my appendix 2 also, I have shown one entity that, after engaging an advocate to contest the notice in writing, later to Kenya for that matter, later demolished the encroaching building and put up a new building that observes the road reserve boundaries. That is also in a document that I will, wish to table to show those details as requested by Honorable Konzirai. On the third item, a planned and profile drawing for the project for rehabilitation of Bajuma Gate Majia Chumvi Road, indicating that at the time of design, a section of the building was identified to be within the road reserve, has been provided for ease of reference. I thank you. Allow me to table the annexure or appendix to basically assist us to appreciate.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Konzirai.
Mr. Speaker, what the minister is actually telling us could have some truth, but the question I'm asking is about Macnan Road, because the allegations about the houses which people actually removed the structures was in Taro. This road we are talking about is 57 kilometers. And I'm talking about Macnan Road Trading Center, where sometimes last year, I took the former Minister for Roads and Transport to that particular area. And he considered that there were no any consultation done actually with the owners. Because what the dispute is about the boundary. Because Kwale County in 2020 actually gave consent for the structures to be put. They are saying they did put their signs on 2018. And on 2020, Kwale County issued consent for the approval of the construction. So we are actually having a dispute in this matter. That's why we went to court. And one of the issues that they were supposed to give us was the historical information about that particular area, which has not been done up to now. So unless the minister confirms that he will become...
Ask him a question.
When can the minister actually confirm, or can he give an undertaking of coming to Mackinnon Road to confirm actually what is on the ground versus actually what is being said on paper in this particular house?
Tungule, take one more. Daniel.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm asking a question on behalf of the people of Ganze, and it is with regard to the tarmacking of the road from Bamba to Ganze to Kilifi. This is a road that was launched in 2021, and it was a contract for 3 years. And the contract elapsed in November this year. But the problem is the contractor only did 5.6 kilometers of the 56 kilometers that he was required to do. And the project has stalled for the last almost 1.5 years for now. So my question to the CS is, when is the contractor going back to the ground to restart the construction, having in mind that now the contract period for 3 years is now elapsed and there's no activity that is happening on the ground as of now? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Tuitum, this is a very narrow question about Mackinnon Road. Do you want to just hold on, Minister? Tuitum?
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not about Mackinnon Road, but I wanted to put a question concerning Kaelo Kamukunji Motuate Road. On 22nd April 2023, the President visited the area. There is a road that is installed since 2017. The President commissioned and gave an undertaking that the road should be completed in December 2023. Up to now, there is no contractor on site. And these are the things that are making this government to be unpopular. Mr. Minister, what are you doing to make sure that that road is completed? It's almost 2 years now after the President commissioned and gave an indication that through the ministry, that road should be completed. Why don't we have a contract on the road? And when is that road going to be completed?
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker. With respect to Mackinnon, let me confirm, Mheshimiwa, I can come to the ground. I'll be in Mombasa next week. If you'll be on the ground, we can visit Mackinnon and confirm. We'll work more closely with the county government to make sure that we do not issue conflicting information. So Mackinnon, outside the chamber, liaise with you on when we can meet on the ground within the market. With respect to the road, the 2 roads in Kanze and, was that Ahero? Correct. Honorable members, we've had a challenge for ongoing projects and starting new projects. And without being general, honorable members, allow me to reiterate what I did say during my confirmation hearing before this House, that the pending bills that sits today at about 175 billion is a priority we are working on to ensure that we do settle to this House for supporting us to raise the 7 shillings under the road RMLF, which we are quite advanced in the process of securitization, and that will allow us to get all contractors back to work. I do know that in the many questions that will follow, the concern on contractors vacating works and abandoning sites is something of concern. And therefore, even as we work on the pending bills and getting back the contractors back to work in a very short while, I want to confirm that we also have to be very vigilant on how we bring in new projects. Because it's one thing to start a project and 10 years down the line, we are unable to pay for bills. Honorable members, we will work together more closely in really ensuring that the budgets, appropriation, and the printed estimates that you do give us do address some of those directives that are given by leadership so that together we can ensure that we develop this country and, more importantly, equitably. So let me confirm, honorable members, particularly with respect to those roads, that we can look at, let me look at the current, because there were supplementary questions, let me look at the printed estimate and see the provisioning on the printed estimate, how they have been covered. But even if they have not been covered, I would like to sit down with the two honorable members and look at those two particular roads. In light of the fact that there were directives from leadership, we should be able to see and find a way on how to accommodate. Thank you.
Question 013 of 2024, Ojambo Undo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me, I beg to ask the following question to the Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport. Could the Cabinet Secretary, number one, provide the status of the Matayos Ganjala Nahasiko Nangina Road that was tendered under 10,000 kilometers low-volume sealed roads and was reported to be under procurement, adjudication, professional opinion as at the commencement of the financial year 2017-2018. Number two, provide an update on the proposed Lake Victoria Ring Road project and particularly the implementation of the Gazette Notice number 2056 of 25th February 2022. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Waziri.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Again, the question from Honorable Dr. Oundo with respect to this road in Funyula, Matayos. Let me state as follows, honorable members, that the Matayos, Kanjala, Nakashiko, Nangina Road was among the roads tendered in the financial year 2017-2018 under the low-volume seal roads program. However, the road failed to attract bidders at that time, and the ministry through KERA was consequently unable to proceed with the proposed works. The road failed to receive budgetary allocation subsequently in the subsequent years to date. However, routine maintenance on the road to ensure it remain motorable is undertaken. The government is currently prioritizing completion of ongoing and incomplete projects, like I said in my previous statement, and settling of the significant pending bills to contractors from certified road works countrywide. And as a result, honorable members, the ministry shall prioritize the construction of this important road once the foregoing is achieved and funding is made available for its construction, following which the road shall be tendered afresh. But let me also just request the member that we can sit down. It doesn't look fair that a road had been tendered and subsequently not funded, and we can see how to prioritize that road. Honorable members, a list of projects affected person was submitted to the National Land Commission. The gazettement of notices of intention to acquire private land affected by the project on behalf of Kenya was completed through Gazette Notice number 2054 of 25th February 2022. However, issuance of notices of intention to acquire to persons affected by project or PAPs and inspections of the properties for valuation purpose has not been carried out. The ministry through Kenya is committed to executing the exercise as soon as funds are available. And again, let me undertake to follow up and ensure that this is done soonest. Thank you.
I think it's as clear as that. Do you have a supplementary?
Speaker, it is heartening for the minister to acknowledge that people of Matayos and Funyula constituency have been unfairly treated, unfairly and discriminated against by the subsequent regimes. And it's also encouraging to say that we look at it And I hope when I saunter and enter and go to his office, he will not lock me out and let me wait for 3 hours. Yet I'm supposed to come and give quorum in this house. But Honorable Speaker, also I just want to draw his attention that at one time on 9th March 2021, the then Cabinet Secretary, Honorable James Macharia, clearly indicated the project will be prioritized in the financial year 2021-2022. It's again very unfortunate that again the goalpost has changed. Now the funds are not available, but I'm encouraged by the statement, and I will walk into his office now that truly, as Speaker, you are my witness. If the doors are not open, I'll come and stand on top of your desk to ensure that he opens for me his doors. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next, those are just kind comments. Minister, you don't have to respond. Question 069 of 2024, member for Westlands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to ask the Cabinet Secretary the following questions. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide details of the approved design of MYKE, including the road profiles, all road signages, road lightings, service lanes, and pedestrian walkways and crossings, and clarify whether the ongoing construction works on the named road are being carried out in accordance with the approved designs. Question number 2, to state timelines for completion of the Kangemi and Ntumbuini overpasses and restoration of access roads destroyed during the constructions. Question number 3, to explain why there are no footbridges, pedestrian walkways, and road markings on the said road, and further explain why the provided pedestrian crossings are kilometers apart from each other, thereby escalating road accidents on the said road and disadvantaging school-going children, the elderly persons, persons with disabilities, and emergency response teams. Question number 4, to explain why the ministry approved the construction of Westlands Roundabout footbridge without incorporating a ramp for persons with disabilities, and state whether there are any plans to have one installed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi. On this particular question, allow me again, Honorable members, Speaker, to go straight to the answer to the question. And let me state that, Honorable Speaker, the design details for James Kishuru Rironi A8 Rehabilitation and Capacity Enhancement Project, MYKE, are, as indicated in my response, design details for James Kishuru Rironi Road, which is tabulated main road, kilometer 3 lanes, 25.346 kilometers roadworks program, and we have executed that works, and there is no outstanding works on that particular section. On the second area, which is the lanes on both sides, right and left-hand side, the 38 kilometers program, we have only executed and worked on 6.384 kilometers, and there is outstanding 31.616 kilometers. That is works outstanding at about 83%, still quite significant. On the collector road, or the feeder road, which is 21.2 kilometer, We have finished works on 11.28 kilometers, and we have 9.92 kilometers to go, some 46% of works outstanding. On the interchange, slip roads and ramps, where the number of kilometers is 20.86 kilometers, we have basically scratched the ground only with 0.2 kilometers, and we have 20 kilometers to go, 99% outstanding. On Gitaru Falls Clover interchange, which is 5.594 kilometers, honorable members, we have done 1.953 kilometers, and there is 3.637 kilometers to go, which is 65%. On the NMT footpath, this is the non-motorized traffic lane, or the walkways, to ensure that we are pedestrian friendly, which is 50 kilometers, 50.69 kilometers. We have not started. On access to government facilities, Nairobi School and Kefri, we have also not started. We have some 4.3 kilometers to go to do in that section. As regarding the structures, which include the bridges, the vernacular underpass, pedestrian underpass, pedestrian footbridges, retainer wall, and all the other structures, let me say as follows. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, and maybe we should invite Tim Wanyonyi to join us on Friday, because in a meeting that was chaired by leadership yesterday on working on the airport road, or Wayaki Way, all the way to the airport, will be meeting on Friday with Nairobi County government on the beautification, and particularly how to work, even as we work on these structures, to decongest the Westlands roundabout and ensure that we do this work very quickly, in agreement with the designs and the works that are also being done on the sites, restoring the bus stage, because that place is very congested, and we'll be meeting in my office with the Nairobi County government on Friday at 10 o'clock. So there's a lot of work we are doing on the Westlands space to ensure that we do open up and beautify that area, because it's currently very congested. Works are also being carried out in accordance with the proposed design, save for instances where works have not been fitted to site conditions. On the second question, the contractor is currently working at Gitaru interchange as per the developed schedule of priority of works based on availability of funds. The contractor is, however, not working at full capacity due to delayed payments amounting to 3.3 billion. And once payments are made, and like I've indicated, this is a priority assignment we are undertaking to make sure that all contractors go back to work. Let me confirm that within that 2 months I've indicated, we'll ensure that the works in that Gitaru interchange is completed. As a matter of fact, after swearing in as the Minister for Roads and Transport, I did receive my handover credentials from Minister Murkomen at that Gitaru interchange. So I will ensure, Honorable Wanyonyi, that I push and ensure that we finish that interchange. The project is generally an access control highway with interchanges for vernacular crossing and turning at interchanges located situated at 2 to 3 kilometers. Similarly, as designs, there are pedestrian crossing facilities throughout the project at an interval of 500 meters. Honorable members, the design has provided for 23 in number footbridges, 6 in number pedestrian underpasses along the project road. 6 pedestrian underpasses are substantially complete as we speak and in use. 1 footbridge is currently completed and in use. The remaining 22 footbridges will be completed once the contractor resumes works. And like I said, we are working around the clock to make sure that we do make the funding available. The pedestrian footbridge in Westlands was constructed as a replacement to the footbridge previously installed at the St. Mark's Church slightly up the road. that had been demolished to accommodate the viaduct for the expressway under the PPP project. On the fourth item, the pedestrian footbridges in Westlands was constructed as a replacement to the footbridge previously installed, like I said, at St. Mark's, that was demolished for that viaduct. The Westlands footbridge design could not accommodate ramp for persons living with disabilities due to the lateral constraint caused by limitation of space to the extent of the road reserve, which would have required the government to acquire additional land for construction of the footbridge ramps as additional land for use as way leaves for the relocated water and power utilities. However, honorable members, the authority is cognizant of the need for inclusivity and access for PWDs and is pursuing a possibility of constructing an underpass at Westlands that will cater for the needs of all users and ensure that our PWDs are also fully accommodated. Kenya is in the process of procuring a consultant for the feasibility studies, preliminary and detailed to Kisan Busia A2 road. Proposals are scheduled to open on 15th November 2024. Thank you.
Member for
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the Minister providing the answer, although I could hardly hear him from where I sit. Mr. Speaker, behind here there is a lot of echo, and the microphone that the Waziri is using is not audible. So I could hardly hear what he was saying. I heard him mention about inviting me to a meeting, but I don't know which one. Maybe if he could repeat that. And then I also want to ask about the Kangemi Bridge. I asked this question to the President yesterday, and he said they are undertaking to complete that bridge. This bridge is an ISO and is causing a lot of, it has disconnected Kangemi from Loresho. And this is a very important, this is a very critical road. So I would like to know if the Minister has any plans, the government has any plans to complete this bridge. And lastly, on the ongoing dwelling of the Lemur Road, just around Aga Khan Hospital and Aga Khan Primary School, there was a footbridge for the people crossing from one end to the other, especially school children at around that age, that place. And that bridge was removed. The road is almost complete, but there's no signs of putting back that bridge. Could the Minister state if there are plans to reinstate that bridge for the safety of the school children and the people crossing that road around that area on Limon Road? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Let's take KJ. Hold, Minister. KJ.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this opportunity, and I also want to thank Waziri Chirchir for the attempt to address these issues. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister has talked about the situation in Westlands. He has also given an assurance to the Leader of Majority that the work at Getaro Bridge shall be completed within 2 months. Sandwiched between these two constituencies is a constituency called Dagoretti South constituency. And we have a very precarious situation at Odero 87, the bridge that is crossing over Waiyaki Way, which is now a dangerous spot for motorable traffic, for borders and people on foot. In fact, the accidents that have been happening there are so gory. I hope they have been reported to the ministry. And the question, Mr. Speaker, is the ministry in the interim having any plans for any mitigation works as we await the mega works to one, make the bridge motorable so that it can depopulate the traffic coming all the way from Karen and the traffic that is coming from Gong Road? And secondly, when do we expect to see the proper completion of this bridge at Odero 87. The second question, Mr. Speaker, has to do with the works on Naivasha Road, which are also connecting to this work. The works that are the interchange at Agoreti Corner and the dualing of Naivasha Road. What plans does the ministry have on these very critical projects that would help decongest Ngong Road and connect all the traffic that does not have to go into the city to be able to offload onto Naivasha Road and connect onto the Waiyaki Highway? Mr. Speaker, I truly thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to ride on just in addition to what the Honorable Member for Westlands has said. Honorable Speaker, there is a road, Outer Ring Road, which has now become one of the most dangerous roads for pedestrians who are crossing. And also there's Kangundo Road, the Honorable Speaker, that is undergoing expansion. And you have Mama Lucy Hospital that is on one side, but you have people and children crossing from the other side. So, Honorable Speaker, my question is, what measures would the ministry be willing to undertake to mitigate before they do the footbridges, especially on Kangundo Road? And if they would consider using PBC contracts and put traffic marshals who can help get these sick people who are crossing into Mama Lucy, get some of the children who are crossing to the other side. And for Outer Ring Road, Honorable Speaker, while the footbridges are there, the lighting is the issue. So you have vandals who actually come and intentionally vandalize those lights. But we've tried to engage Kura and the ministry to tell them we have to come up with innovative ways of lighting these bridges and also still using PBC to put some security on those footbridges so that people can stop crossing on the road at night and end up getting hit. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Can you answer those?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Wanyonyi, I did indicate that Westlands around...
Are you able to hear the minister now?
Thank you. I did indicate, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, that with respect to Westlands roundabout and the congestion that we all see with the matatus and the kind of challenge with the road works which is uncompleted, there's so much that we are doing. I did indicate, Honorable Chair members, that the leadership did call us for a meeting yesterday with the county government, and we will be having a meeting on Friday to not only look at how to quickly finish the works that have been planned. And I do know that you did ask for drawings. We have very well articulated drawings on what we want to do. We need to harmonize with Nairobi County Government on Friday and see how to quickly decongest that place, including the beautification and even putting grown trees that we are going to transplant to make sure that we restore Westlands, as it were. So I did indicate, Chair, that if Honorable Tim Wanyonyi is available on Friday at 10 o'clock, you can come over for a cup of tea in my office and we'll transact the business of the Westlands roundabout and that particular area all the way to the Kangemi Bridge Challenge, where we currently need to pay some approximately 200 million on that particular project. The China which is the contractor on this particular road corridor, has a pending bill of 3 billion. And like I did indicate, this is the priority we are working on to ensure that all contractors resume work in all our counties in Kenya. With respect to Limuru Road, Dagoretti South, KJ, Gitaru, the Udhiru 87, and the Naivasha interchange. I want to, honorable members, KJ, I'm answering your question. So, honorable members, with respect to Dagoretti South challenge, as we do that interchange, there's a lot of work that we are undertaking to open up the city. We have just almost close the Northern Bypass facility. I want to confirm that we really need to work on opening up the whole of that area as we finish that Gitaru interchange to ensure that the Dagoretti side also do benefit. And we can spend more time with Honorable KJ to look at the specific program that we need to work on to ensure that we decongest the city with all the bypasses that we are building so that we can have movement of goods and movement of people facilitated quickly. With respect to Naivasha, is that Naivasha Road interchange, is that the Dagoretti corner? And the dueling of Naivasha Road, can I get a response on that? While I address the Mwenje question, Honorable Mwenje, on Outer Ring, where with the Mama Lucy Hospital, I do agree with Mheshimiwa. Let us work on lighting, and that is not a big ask to work on lighting, to work on marshalling of traffic, and to improve how people access the hospital across that wide corridor. We should be able to pay attention to that, and I'm here with my team. We will work on that and undertake to basically reach out to Mheshimiwa Mwenje and address that. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Maluli Njendi. Maluli Njendi, question deferred. Stephen Mogaka. Stephen Mogaka, question deferred. Dick Maungu.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity. I raise question number 78 of 2024. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain reasons for the delays by the contractor in upgrading of Maseno-Kombewa Road to bitumen standards, given the deplorable and impassable condition of the 5.1-kilometer stretch from Maseno to Opasi in Luanda constituency? 2, state the measures that the ministry has put in place to ensure that construction of the said road resumes as soon as possible and further state completion. Thank you.
I'm told that question relates to the same road as the question 142 by James Nyikal. I'll allow him to ask so that you answer them together. James Nyikal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask question number 142 to the Honorable Minister to state the reason for the delay in completion of construction works for upgrading to bitumen standard of Maseno-Kombewa Wangarot Road, RWC 119, since its commencement way back in 2016. And 2, Mr. Minister state when the Minister of Roads and Transport intends to commence works on the said road as it has stalled and when it is expected to be completed. Mr. Speaker, this is the same road that at one end, on honorable members, it has stalled, and then at the other end, in my constituency, it has stalled. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Speaker, for guiding that question number 78 and 142. And honorable members, let me respond to the fact that I acknowledge that the completion of this particular road, Maseno-Kombewa, project or road project has delayed beyond its construction completion date of 2021. It was supposed to be completed in May 2021 for the subcontract. These arose mainly out of the financial constraints facing the main contractor of the project, Heya Bishan Singh and Sons Limited, who commenced work in 2016 and constructed 12 kilometers of tarmac before pulling out of the project. In the interest of completing the project, the contractor requested approval to assign sections of the works to a suitable assignee. The ministry granted this request, and the works were initially assigned to MS Agrimac Consortium LLP, who commenced work on 14th February 2019. However, the assignee also faced financial challenge and decided site after achieving only 2.64% physical progress in 8 months. The project was then subcontracted to MS China Railway Number 10 Engineering Group Company Limited, who commenced work on 4th of December 2019. An additional 12 kilometers has been achieved under the subcontractor, who has also slowed progress considerably, citing non-payment of certified works. The contractor currently has an outstanding payment in what we are calling pending bills on this particular road of 114,858,231. The contractor is currently installing cross culverts along the 5.1 kilometer stretch from Maseno to Opasi in Luanda constituency to ensure it remains passable ahead of the main works, which was assigned to MS China Railway Number 10 Engineering, like I mentioned. The overall physical progress of works for the entire road project is today 68%. To date, with 24 kilometers constructed to pitman standard. The ministry on the second issue has prioritized the payment of all pending bills, like I indicated earlier, including those of this particular contractor, MS China Railway Number 10 Engineering Group, to facilitate a full resumption of work at this project. Towards this end, honorable members, the ministry has paid some 54,975,670 Kenya shillings in the current financial year to the contractor, which was the allocation for the project this financial year, and has received a commitment from the contractor on the resumption of the works as efforts are made to settle the remainder of his payment as soon as necessary. So, honorable members, again, we're working around the clock to raise funds through securitization. We will then come to this house for voting or allowing us to spend that money once we receive, and ensure that we get back all contractors back to work. Pending bills is a big issue, and like I said, and I reiterate again and again, it is our top priority, and we are working on that. In fact, I did chair a meeting at 7 o'clock this morning to look at the timelines on when we can walk, and we're beginning to see the end of the runway with respect to how we can resolve this challenge. Thank you.
Maungo then Nyikal.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity once again. Indeed, what the Minister has captured, it's true that this road began in 2016. The Speaker has well captured this road has been assigned twice to contractors who vacated sites. And as you know, that a road under development or construction cannot be maintained under the normal maintenance, meaning that today that road is impassable. That road is orphaned, Mr. Speaker. I would wish the Cabinet Secretary to help us understand what remedies you are putting in place to ensure that this road is motorable. As we speak today, it is true that China, the contractor was back some 2 weeks ago to put the pipes, the culverts. But the road is impassable and cannot be accessed. Mr. Speaker, that road that we're talking about touches Luanda constituency, goes through SYMO, all the way to Rarieda. It is a very important corridor for the people of Luanda and the Western Circuit. So the Minister would really be kind, if the Minister would be kind to tell us what strategies he's put in place to ensure that this road is passable. I'm sure he has some emergency funds under the 10% CS allocation, which can cater for that, Mr. Speaker.
Nikal.
As the honorable member said, my colleague has said, this road, 2016 up to now, has been assigned 3 times. First of all, it was a higher Bisansi, then Agrimax, and now China Railways. And Mr. Speaker, although the honorable minister is saying 54 million has been paid, the information I have, because I'm following this lady, the contractor actually says even with that, it's not going back on site, particularly on the final bit towards Kalandini, 5 kilometers. In fact, Haya Bisan Singh kind of stuck on the first bit, which is a honorable member side, and is actually doing those culverts. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at the kind of work, last 2 months ago, I actually lost my temper. If you look at they're using some equipment that are being pulled by hand so that they can do the road. So I think, Honorable Minister, I think you need to actually take more keen. This road actually connects through Luanda Kutieno all the way to Mbita and actually all the way to Sori. So it's actually a very major road and it's stuck on this side. So can we really know, this 54 million was paid. Is this China Railways really going back to work? And is Haya Bisan Singh really able to complete the Maseno site? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I did meet China Railway number 10 Engineering Group, and it is a company of capacity. Having met them to basically sensitize them on what we are doing to settle all the pending bills, and having paid the 54.9 million out of the 114 million outstanding, honorable members, let me undertake to ensure that this particular road, with this contractor that I said is a contractor with capacity to make the road motorable. I'll work on that. Between today and Friday, I'll have made the contractor to ensure this road is made motorable. And more importantly, because the contractors are beginning to see hope in what we are doing to pay the pending bills, ensure that they accelerate work. Because even then, the outstanding, in spite of the fact that we owe them 3 billion in total on this particular road, having paid the 54.9 million, the outstanding, about 50% of that, the same amount, we should be able to get them back to work. And I want to confirm, Dr. Nikal, that this contractor will get back to work. I'll work on that. Thank you.
Yes, Kajwang, then Makali.
Mr. Speaker, permit me to ride on this. This is the gateway to my rural home. If you come from Luanda, it is the only direct way through Uyoma in Rarieda constituency, and as you get to Beta through the ferry. So it is a very important road for which I am interested. Mr. Speaker, I listened to the Cabinet Secretary, and I'm sure that he's working on it. But this concept of assignment, I think let us now deal with the issue of principle first. Because as you hear, he is saying that there is a contractor who was on that road, then there was a subcontract to which it was assigned. We have had problems with this concept of assignment.
An assignment is not a subcontract?
Well, they understand it of course it is not, but they understand it in the roads ministry as a contract, as a subcontract. It is a contract. The question, Mr. Speaker, I'm asking is that these people who benefit from assignment, who are themselves independent contractors, and the ministry approves that in transaction between the main or the principal contract to the other, that is where the problem is. Because the first person has billed that bill 1, and that bill 1 is the most it is the most substantial part of the funds which would go into that road. When this other person to whom it is assigned takes the contract, the person basically he takes the contract with the terms and conditions, but there is no money with which the whole thing can be done. So this is the issue, that this second person definitely is not able to complete the road. So, Mr. Speaker, would the minister consider to determine the contract, to terminate the contract? The first contractor, in terms of principle, the first contractor, when he fails, the Bishan saying, they should have terminated that contract and then sought for a new contract in all its terms and conditions.
Are you challenging the validity of the assignment?
I am saying that the question in principle is what is a problem in finishing this road.
Okay.
Could the minister consider that instead of going this assignment principle, to terminate a contract and then re-advertise it and get new people under the terms and conditions that the ministry would approve? Thank you.
But Honorable Kajwang, if the members are interested in the road being completed quickly, is in an assignment faster than a retendering? Because a retendering will go another 1 year. An assignment is just a legal instrument, which as a good lawyer you know. But anyway, Makali, okay. Give him.
Mr. Speaker, when this debate ensued, it came to my mind that probably going forward, the ministry should adopt a national policy that this assignment where a contractor lives for the other is really the problem that is hindering the completion of roads.
We hear you. Makali?
Thank you.
Take that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to ask this supplementary question. Honorable Speaker, there is this road that links Kakamega County and Bungoma County, the Navaholo, Dorofu, Sangalo, Muskoma Road that was abandoned way back in 2017. His predecessor, I think, was in this house and assured us that they were going to advertise the road. The road was re-advertised. Can the Cabinet Secretary confirm to this house and the people of Kandui that, one, the tendering process as a result of the re-advertisement is now complete, and when do we expect the contractor on the road so that I cease these endless visits to the Office of the Director General and the anxiety the people who stay in that particular place are having, because that road has remained like that from 2017 and it's totally not motorable at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Let me take the concern on assignment of the road, which is basically the assignee, let me state, takes the full responsibility, including providing performance guarantee for the works that has been assigned. And why do we assign, honorable members? If we were to go through a tendering process, of course, we take time, but secondly, and more importantly, you want to maintain the old rates. You know that if a road was awarded in 2017, if you assign, we assign with the same terms. If we retender in 2024, it will come with the attendant cost of today. So there is merit in assigning where there is a contractor willing to be assigned. And like I said, with a company like China Railway Number 10 Engineering, they do have capacity. I did indicate that I had a meeting with them last week. I'm going to call them again. The outstanding amount of about 50 million is not much. I'll make sure we start with making the road motorable. A case in question, for example, is when we did this road from Kwale to Kinango to facilitate movements of the constituents to come to Mashujade. And we did ask the contractor to make the road fast motorable, so that as they do the road to pitment standard, the road is in very good moram condition. I will undertake to ensure that China Railway number 10 makes this road all the way to Luanda motorable, first, and secondly, as an assignee with full responsibility and performance being assigned to them, do really finish the road now that we have a contractor, which I said is a contractor with capacity. And finally, we are equally working and ensuring that we pay all the pending bills in due course as we work together to support the securitization of the 7 shillings. With respect to Navukolo, Mheshimiwa Makali, I'm told the same has been completed, an intention of award, the tendering process, an intention of award issued, a letter of award has been, intention of award has been done, and subject to those number of days lapsing, the award should be done by 14th November 2024, which is tomorrow. Again, we will continue to pursue to ensure that the challenge that really runs across most of the counties we address, particularly through the securitization and ensuring that we pay the pending bills. Thank you.
Thank you. Basil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question 79 of 2024 to the CS Road and Transport. Can the CS explain why there has been significant delay in the completion of constructing Matuya Kalakara Kivandini Road to Chasioni Road in Yata constituency? Question number 2, can the CS provide an update on the expected timeline for the tamaking of the Katangi to Matu Road and the Ndalani to Makuyu Road? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to respond as follows. The upgrading to pitment standard and maintenance of Matu, Kalakala, Kakuku, and Junction A3, Kathulani, Junction C439 roads were awarded to Quito Civil Engineering and Company Limited on 24th February 2017, following a competitive tendering process at a tender sum of 1.268 billion and a performance-based routine maintenance of 130,363,027 Kenya shillings. The contract agreement was signed on 5th May 2017 and the contractor given the commencement order on 21st July 2017. The contract commenced on 19th August 2017 and the works were scheduled to be completed 30 months later, which should have been 19th February 2020 with a defect liability period of 12 months. However, the contractor demobilized and abandoned works, forcing the employer to subcontract the works to other contractors. The following is how the project was subcontracted and the progress so far. 8 kilometers of the 40 kilometers on Matu Kalakala Kaguku section has been subcontracted to MS Daima Construction Limited to fast-track process. The subcontractor has completed up the first seal of the first 4 kilometers and has done 1.7 kilometers for second seal service dressing. So far, he has raised a certificate for payment and is awaiting to be paid to continue work. What we do, honorable members, we do segment the road into many segments, and as you finish the particular section and issue work certificate, upon inspection, you due for payment. But that is outstanding in line with the challenge that we have all talked about over and over again with pending bills. Another 12 kilometers, honorable members, of the 40 kilometers of work has been subcontracted to MS Uso Ngiro Contractors Limited. The contractor is working from 0 kilometers to 10 kilometers, junction C439 on Kiasioni section in accordance to provision of clause 4.1 of the condition of the contract. The subcontractor has completed the first seal service dressing for the first 4 kilometers of its section. On 30th July 2021, MS Sifel Construction Company was subcontracted 12 kilometers of Matu-Ekala road section from kilometer 8 to kilometer 20. The subcontractor has completed the first and second milestones up to the second seal service dressing. And on October, honorable members, 14, 2021, MS Kitho Civil Engineering Company Limited was instructed to reinstate the road section from 12 kilometers to 16 kilometers to its original state before he abandoned work. After completion of the reinstatement, MS Kitho was then allowed to complete the road section on 12 November 2021 up to a blacktop or tarmac as per the contract. The main purpose of this process was to fast-track the work progress. The contractor has managed to complete 4 kilometers of the blacktop on the first seal dressing. On 7th December 2021, Litho Supplies and General Traders Limited was awarded the subcontract for 8 kilometer Kalakala to Kaguku section. Currently is ongoing with earthworks, and he has managed to complete about 2.5 kilometers of top subgrade. The subcontractor has also done a cross culvert within the first 2 kilometers. To date, honorable members, 79 months, 263% of the contract has elapsed against an overall progress of approximately 54.3%. Currently, Speaker, honorable members, there are no plans for tarmacking Katangi to Matu Road and the Ndalani to Makuyu Road due to insufficient budgetary allocation. However, there are plans for routine maintenance and spot improvement. The allocation for CP Muranga, Kisiki, Ndalani, Sophia Road in the financial year 24-25 is Kenya shillings 6,816,949, and for Matu, Kathiuni, Igombe, Katangi Road is 12,268,999, respectively. Those are the amounts which are available for maintenance in the printed estimates 2024-25. Thank you, honorable members.
Basil. Give him the mic.
Thank you, CS, for the response. If you look at the road from Matu to Ekalakala, there are so many potholes, yet the road has never been completed. So we ask, why did the engineers, were there poor quality supervision on the road? Number two, there are several Maram Ips that have been left between Kivandini to Chasioni Road, making motorists not be able to use the road. Number three, they skipped Mbembani to Kivingoni Market, that section which is within Yata constituency, and actually my constituents have been asking why was it skipped, and so many local suppliers were never paid. So we request the CS to look into that and to respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Women Rep Tarakaniti. Give her the mic. You are assigning the wrong person. There you are.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, my question goes to an issue that is so disturbing, an issue that is disturbing the people of the Tharaka-Nithi County, the neighboring counties, the entire country and the world. The Kila Nithi Bridge. Mr. Speaker, Andrew, as a month ago, without the people of the Tharaka-Nithi and the entire country burying their relatives from the Nithi Kila Bridge. Mr. Speaker, sir, many have acquired disabilities from the Killer Bridge. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, I'm asking the minister, what action has the ministry undertaken or is undertaking towards redesign, rerouting, or erection of permanent accident arrest interventions at the Nithi Bridge black spot? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Mutunga again. Let me give people who have not asked Mutunga.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have several roads in Tigania West, and none of them has works going on. Mr. Speaker, I do not want to speak about St. Anne, Kagaene, Myompon, because I want a meeting with the minister. But Mr. Speaker, my desperation is that the capture of this road has always been avoided. I would like the minister to know that I have written, I have talked to the ends of the institutions, and they do not capture these roads. Mr. Speaker, during the last state visit, Kera in his wisdom scrapped the tarmac of one road because of the potholes and on the fear that the end of state will pass on that road. Up to now, there is no center allocated to that road. It's not in the books. Mr. Speaker, there is another road from Kiajai to Isiolo.
You are making a speech. Ask a
Mr. Speaker, what I would like to the minister to tell us, when we went to health, to energy, he had a very clear way of rationalizing. We would like to know whether this rationalization formula is going to be operated on or rather utilized in the Ministry of Roads and Transport. Because, Mr. Speaker, what we have is total discrepancy in terms of allocation of resources in the roads. You realize that some constituencies have no roads, while others have got 7 or 8 roads. So there is a problem in this country, and we need that problem solved. What is the promise of the minister? Again, is a road that
Order Mutunga.
Mr. Speaker, let me explain this particular one.
Let him finish. Give him to finish.
Mr. Speaker, there is a road which I forced upgrading. I went to the National Roads Committee Convention, the National National Roads Board Convention, and they pushed for movement of a road from Kera to Kena. In other words, from to be in Kena. That road has not yet been gazetted for 3 years in a row. I would like to know why the road has not been gazetted as at now.
Rueda, but you guys, your MPs also be fair to the minister. He's come with answers on questions that were asked. Now we are springing questions from every part of the country. But go ahead.
Asante Speaker. Ni vile mwakilishi wa wananchi na wakituona hapa leo tuko hatujauliza, tukienda huko tutakuwa tuna shida. Mwanzo nimpongeze waziri. Waziri ni muungwana sana. Tukienda ofisi yake tunapokelewa vizuri. Nataka tu waziri ajue kwamba Lamu Mashariki nafikiri ndio eneo bunge peke yake Kenya haina hata inchi moja ya barabara ya lami. Hata inchi moja hakuna. Na barabara zetu za Lamu Mashariki ni 3. Ni Mtangawanda tu Kizingitini, ambayo hiyo najua mwaijua. Naomba tafadhali muhakikishe mtuambie zimefikia vipi mikakati yake. Angalau na sisi tuwe tuna lami. Barabara ya pili ni kuanza Hindi tu Kiunga, ambayo ni kilomita kama 120. Hiyo barabara sahihi haipitiki kabisa kwa sababu ya wale wahalifu wanaweka IDs. Sasa imefungwa kabisa. Wodi 2 Lamu Mashariki huwezi kupitia hiyo barabara mpaka upitie bahari. Sasa imefungwa, imekuwa lazima uende na boat, na saa nyingine bahari ni shida sana. Kwa hivyo naomba tu waziri alifikirie, kama hana majibu lakini afikirie hata pale pabaya tu kutengeneze kidogo ili barabara ifunguke. Nasikia pesa ilipewa Mchina iko, atafute tu, na kama insecurity si shida, KDF wako tayari, wanafanya kazi vizuri, wanapeana security. Kama imeshindikana kwa ministry, wapewe KDF wafanye ili barabara ifunguke.
Asante sana. Giver.
Bwana Speaker, kwetu Lamu Mashariki mazingira tofauti. Sisi maeneo yetu sio ile nyinyi mnaita land mass, sisi ni water mass. Sasa kwetu zaidi kwa ministry yenu pia tunahitaji sea wall, yani zile ukuta za bahari. Sasa kuna kijiji kinaitwa Mbwajumwali, karibu kinabebwa na bahari chote, watoto wanabebwa na kilijengwa kidogo, contractor hakumaliza akakimbia. Tafadhali, iko pia kwa ministry yako, mtu angalilie. Asante bwana.
Ichungwa. Gichimu. Member for Gishugu.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The people that I represent of Gishugu find themselves in a situation akin to Honorable Basil's. And I don't want to go to because the minister or the CS has already given an elaborate plan on how to revive the roads that have already stalled. But my question is, are those roads that have already been contracted, are you able, just like many other areas that you've said, in Gishugu, to see to it that they are also motorable by grading and marraming? Because when these matters are scheduled for tarmacking through the normal CARA funds, mostly they are omitted because they've already been contracted for tarmacking. So actually, it's an area that you need to talk to the contractor. And if you have these plans and you are saying soon, why don't you then talk to the contractors to go back on site, have an agreement with them that in 10 or 5 or whatever period you'll be able to start paying them so that they can resume work and our constituencies will actually benefit from these roads that have stalled for many years. Thank you.
Ms. Shimbogo. These are general questions.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
So you should give a general policy direction.
Mheshimiwa Spika, napenda kumpongeza waziri na nimuulize swali la kivuko cha feri ya Mtongwe. Kivuko cha feri ya Mtongwe kiliweza kusitishwa kufanya huduma zake kwa wakazi wa Likoni. Na hivi sasa tukiangalia kivuko cha Likoni kumekuwa na msongamano mkubwa sana, hata kumekuwa na hatari kubwa sana za maajali. Ukiangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, hivi sasa tutakuwa na michezo ile ya Yala ambayo inakuja katika sehemu ya Mombasa. Namuuliza waziri, ni mikakati gani ambayo tutaweka ili tuweze kupunguza ule msongamano, kwa sababu kivuko cha Mtongwe kilikuwa kinapunguza msongamano wa abiria na kilikuwa kinasaidia sana. Na wakati kulikuwa na kile kivuko cha kuolea, kile tulikuwa tunaita Kiingereza floating bridge, pia kilikuwa kinasaidia. Na hivyo vyote vimeondolewa na hivi sasa kumekuwa na shida na kumekuwa na msongamano mbaya sana mpaka kuleta hatari za ajali nyingi. Swali lingine la mwisho ni barabara ya Dongo Kundu ambayo tunashukuru serikali wameng'ang'ana kutengeza barabara hii na imebakia hatua kidogo sana iweze kufunguliwa rasmi na Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Ruto. Lakini katika barabara hiyo kuna hatari, kuna mwanya ambao umewachwa wazi, na juzi tumempoteza kijana aliweza kutumbukia kwa sababu barabara hiyo iko juu na chini ni bahari. Kijana alitumbukia na kuweza kupoteza maisha yake. Tunakuomba waziri uangalie swala hilo ili hii barabara iweze kumalizwa, rais afungue rasmi na zile hatari za kupoteza maisha ya wale wanaotumia barabara hiyo iweze kuzingatiwa. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Waziri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was actually not going to ask a question because I thought that when there are questions, you respond to the very specific one. Nonetheless, because I'm seeing that the questions are also taking on policy direction.
Justem generis.
Thank you. I do appreciate, Mr. Speaker, because I think you understand, having served in the House, that members have needs in the constituency. I want to ask a question which is similar to what the Honorable Fogishugu has raised. And for me, it's really a policy issue that when you have commenced construction and then you stop because of lack of funds, it shouldn't be within the charity of the minister, but a policy issue in the ministry that you must allocate funds. Like right now, the road between Sindo and Bita, is actually only about 2-3 kilometers. I was there last week, but you spend almost 1 hour because they actually messed up the road. We cannot allocate it in Kura. But when this young man called Morara wants to attack, he goes to my constituency, even though he went on the Karoli side. But because maybe Karoli is still relatively new, he was attacking me, saying, Millie, what are you doing? I'm not the one doing those roads. It's the national government. But because we are not assigning money for routine maintenance, what is the policy of the ministry? And if you don't have a policy, can you come up with a policy for just regular maintenance so that it's not dependent on policy, on charity of a given CS, but it's a given that it must be allocated. Even if you want to do that road right now, I can't do anything. And it's a small portion that we can do with the care.
Thank you. Betsimba.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa.
Minister, you will compress all this into a policy direction.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa ya kuweza kuuliza swali la ziada. Je, waziri anaufahamu barabara katika eneo bunge la Kisauni ambayo imeanza Kiembeni ipitie Mwakirunge kwenda Rabai? Na Mheshimiwa Rais alikuja kuanzisha rasmi barabara hiyo inayojengwa na Kera. Alipoondoka Mheshimiwa Rais, matingatinga yote yaliondoka yakamfuata. Anazo habari hizo na ana mipango gani kuweza kuendeleza hiyo barabara badala ya kumwekea aibu Mheshimiwa Rais?
Thank you. Let's have answers to those.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. I think Honorable Millie summarized it very well that we should have a policy framework on how to deal with roads which have been contracted and ensure that we do allocate funds so that those roads are not stranded, even for the purpose of motorability. I want to state here, honorable members, that I'll work very closely with the House to ensure that when we run our budgets, we do ensure that we give priority to ongoing projects. We do some parity and equitable distribution of resources, and that with the kind of data that is available in roads, we should be able to do that together. With respect to really the challenge that we've had for a long time on bending bills, the support that we've received from this House on the 7 shillings additional road maintenance levy, and which I have confirmed we are fairly advanced in securitizing to ensure that we raise some 175 billion Kenya shillings, we should be able to get all contractors back to work. But more importantly, even as we do that, and because there is a really, you can have sight of the entire runway on this particular project, we will push the contractors to make the roads motorable. Talking to a road like Sindombita, I want to confirm, Millie, that that particular road will now not stop. We are working on it. I don't know, but majorly because we are raising the funds to pay all the contractors. We had a bending bill on that road of about 540 million Kenya shillings on certificates issued, but there was only an allocation of 270 million. Having paid the full amount, you can see the contractor still with a hole of 300 million, but I've equally had a meeting with civil engineering construction company, the same company that did the road from Kwale Kinango, and I can assure us that because of what we are doing on securitization, a lot of contractors are seeing some hope, and we are able to get a number of them back to work. So a road like Sindo Mbita, I can assure honorable members, just to pick one, that it will not stop. With respect to Gishugu, Banagishimo, we will, like I've said, maintain. We are seeking to ensure that the contractors make the roads motorable. Traditionally, contractors should provide a road for users during construction. So we cannot be constructing a road, leaving heaps of soils. We then abandon works because of non-payment, and we leave the road not motorable. So we are going to, it's an agenda. I gave the example of Kinango Kwale, where we made the road really good on Moram, so that as they work on the tarmacking, and even albeit the challenge of pending bills and payments, the road or the users of the Kenyans users do not face that challenge. Honorable John Mutunga, I want to confirm, like when we met, that we're going to address the various challenges on the road programs in the country. We have built a good database that can help us to work together with the House to ensure that we do have a very amicable way of allocating funds to ongoing projects, to roads across the whole country with some level of equity. Captain Ruwaida, thank you for congratulating me equally to a number of members who have congratulated me today. I want to confirm that we'll work very closely together. Mtakawanda Road to Kisingitini, we'll tender it next week. We'll put it to tender next week. With respect to, I'm just saying, I mean, there's a lot of tendering happening next week. With respect to, I think I mentioned Tigania West for John. With respect to, what was the other, Tharakanithi Bridge, I want to confirm we are all concerned about this Tharakanithi Bridge, and we are paying a lot of attention. We have installed a lot of bumps or humps on the road. We have installed signage and will continue to improve. We have separated the uplink traffic from the downlink traffic. We are in the process of finalizing the redesign for the new bridge, which is currently ongoing, and we will put funds. You are aware that leadership at every level has made commitment to correcting Nithi Bridge. We don't like the name Killer Bridge. We should get it back to Nithi Bridge. And so we are paying attention to that. Potholes on this road that is complicated and that we have had to assign or give to so many contractors, Matu, Ikalagala. I want to confirm that we will work on the potholes. Like I've said, we'll make the roads motorable. And with the 4-5 contractors on site, the issue of pending bills and the fundraising we are doing through securitization, we are going to pay attention and ensure that these small sections with all these contractors, Sifel, Kito, Usongiro, and so on and so forth, address and do what they are supposed to do. The floating bridge in, where is this? In Mutongwe. We removed the floating bridge in Mutongwe because it had its own challenges. We know the challenges we are facing with the Likoni ferry, but luckily, Mishimboko, we are finalizing the Dongokundu Kibundani Road, which is basically finished. I think we are almost seeking a date for official commissioning of that road, and we will move most of the traffic. We'll work together with the leadership. I was in Mombasa last week, and we had a session with the governor for Mombasa, Abdul Swamad, and we want to work together to see how to decongest Likoni ferry, how to even provide some land around the ferry as a holding ground, which I do know that Kenya Railways did lease out to some other investor, and we are working to address that small challenge. So, honorable members, let me just say that allow us to work in another 1-2 months, max 3 months, to sort out the pending bills through securitization of the 7 shillings. I want to thank the House, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, for the support we have received in the securitization process. This will go a long way in sorting out the pending bills, which amounts to about 174 billion today. And we can get all the contractors back to work. We'll be more cautious, we'll be more careful to ensure that we do not get into that situation by assigning new projects where there is no revenue or investments or cash flow to support maturing work certificates. So, honorable members, thank you for your support. I will continue to receive you to address the specific roads in the various counties in this great country. I will continue to receive you in my office as I continue to learn. Today, I'm just 90 days in office, and I think I was asking myself what I will possibly have to say on the 100th day, but we'll continue to work together. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, we've done 3 hours on question time. I want the question by Sarah Korere to be the last for today, and invite the minister to be back here in 2 weeks to answer the remaining questions. So Sarah Korere, ask your question. That will be the last for today. And Sarah, before you ask, take your seat. Members, tomorrow, Malulu, your question will come after 2 weeks. All of you who are on the order paper, we have bills also to deal with. And I think we have extracted sufficient material from the minister today. He will be back here in 2 weeks. Before Sarah Korere asks the question, tomorrow we have a Kamkunji at 11. All of you and those who are not here, be here for that Kamkunji. And ministers, you go to answer the last question. Remember to remain engaged with the Baraki Club for Yala Games. Sarah Korere.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise to ask question number 127 of 2024. Can the minister state the reasons for delay in completion of construction works on Doldol Nanyuki Road in Laikipia North constituency? Number 2, state when the ministry intends to complete construction works. And 3, provide details of the outstanding payments, if any, to the constructor on the scope of works for construction on the said road.
Minister.
Thank you again, honorable members. Thank you, Mheshimiwa Korere. Let me go straight to and acknowledge the delay in completion of the road, of the said road, Doldol Nanyuki, in Laikipia constituency, which has been caused by non-performance by the contractor who was engaged to do the works. Shipili Enterprise Limited has been slow in the process, and we have had several meetings in order to engage him to expedite the works. Honorable members, I did have a meeting about this with Sarah Korere, and we are working on how to ensure that we accelerate that work and even provide enough funds to address the pending bill that we did see on this particular road. 2 management meetings have been held with the contractor in which they were asked to go back to site and resume works. However, they have not heeded the call, and so the employer will seek recourse on the next step of action according to the contract terms. The scope included the following: site clearance to include heavy bush clearing, tree and stump removals, evacuation and filling for structures, culverts and drainage works to include majorly new culverts installation, grading and graveling works to include light grading of the whole section and then spot graveling. Road furniture repairs maintenance to include installation of 20 in number concrete bollards. The contractor has no outstanding payment. Sorry, I did indicate that they had outstanding payment. I think the point was the funds allocated to the road is something that we discussed with Mheshimiwa, and Mheshimiwa, we need to have another cup of tea. Thank you. As regarding the Mbaraki Stadium, honorable members, I have worked very closely with Mheshimiwa Osoro and Faith Gitau, Mheshimiwa, and Mbaraki progress today is 80% complete. We have challenges, small challenges on the sitting area and the common amenities like toilets and the changing rooms. I want to confirm that as of yesterday, I did hold a meeting and we are looking at NYS moving in to do most of the handiworks. Kenya Power supporting us in doing most of the lighting. But I want to confirm that the tartan is the asphalt, the tarmacking of the places that needed to be asphalt, and the tartan to be installed will be shipped and it will come in on time and the stadium will be ready. We are also looking at the other gymnasium stadium to ensure where the other indoor games will be. And we did yesterday give an indicative budget approval to ensure that we are able to run through the coming 3 weeks and make the facility ready so that our parliament can host the East Africa Legislative Assemblies with a better dignity than we have been hosted in the other countries. So I'm on top of it with Bwana Osoro, with Gitau there, and thank you for your support. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sarah Korere. Do you have a supplementary?
Thank you, Speaker. And Speaker, I want to acknowledge indeed that the Cabinet Secretary has himself taken up the issue and called me severally about the road. But again, the CS, I want to inform you and plead with you with a lot of humility that the people of Laikipia North are suffering, untold suffering, because of the status of that road. Waziri, just the other day we lost 2 people who were shot by bandits, not very serious gunshot wounds, but wounds that would have been saved if they would have reached Nanyuki in good time. But because of the status of that road, they couldn't. It is also clear that Shibili Construction Company does not have the capacity to go back to that site. So the earlier you expedite the process of bringing an alternative person, the better for us. Again, on the 0 kilometer of that road, because that contract I think covers 15 kilometers, there is a place that Kena is taking care of. And they brought on site a company called Nexotech, which was supposed to do some emergency works. That contractor reported for 3 days and disappeared. So you wonder what emergency work is when there is no emergency work. Actually, the people, the road users, took it upon themselves to construct that road using their own resources, their own hands, while we know Kenha has given somebody a contract and that contractor has disappeared. I've called the regional engineer for Upper Eastern several times, and he himself confesses to me that the contractor cannot even pick his calls. So, you know, we are just left as lame ducks. You don't know what you are waiting for. Again, in Laikipia North CS, Laikipia North is the biggest constituency. It is bigger than Laikipia East and Laikipia West combined. There is no road network. The road that connects Timao, Lokusero, all the way to the constituency headquarters at Doldol is completely washed out. It is a road that is under Kena in the Upper Eastern. Waziri, we need, if nothing else, we just need some first aid, because that road goes through Mgogodo Forest. We know the history of Mgogodo Forest and banditry and insecurity, so it is a very critical security road. For the Doldol Nanyuki Road, I appreciate that even His Excellency the President is so committed to see that road constructed. And Waziri, you know, for the first time, if that road is constructed, the people of Laikipia North will feel that independence has actually come to Laikipia North.
Honorable Cabinet Secretary, I'll give the next speaker, and then after that we can close. So the Honorable Member for Chesumei, you're the one who's going to say something, but hold on. What's your point of order, Honorable Junet? We are not giving we're not taking any more supplementary questions. You have come in too late. So Honorable Member for Chesumei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, and I rise to ask the CS what the ministry is doing to ensure that the contractor assigned to Danger Chemuswa Road, which has not only stalled, but there is no maintenance ahead of works in that particular road, and that road is not passable and not motorable at all. And that road, Bwana CS, was launched actually way back in 2016 by the Uhuru government, and up to now it has not taken off. There is also a road, Chepterit Chepkober Kaiboi, which is on Kenha, that has also stalled, and apart from it being stalled, there was maintenance ahead of works on that road, but the contractor decided to just take the machines midway and say that he doesn't have enough money for that road. Baraton Samo Kamobo Road and Akura is another concern on a CS. That road is around 8 kilometers, and we had agreed actually being allocated 1 kilometer every year, but for the last 2 years that road has also stalled, and now there is no maintenance on the remaining part of the road, which is impassable. Lastly, there are 2 bridges, CS, and those ones have caused fatal accidents. People were buried the other day on the Makonge Baraton Bridge, which right now is very, very dangerous and impassable, and I don't know what the ministry is doing about it. And another one called SYMO Kamurgiwa Bridge, amongst many, many of those bridges. Lastly, there's a road which had been allocated funds on GOK called Kaptel Chomisia, which we had asked for funds when the previous minister was in office. Actually, it took time, and the other day it was awarded, but the works have not started. The only problem is that road took too long until there was a CSR from Kipchabo Tea Estate. That road right now is motorable and good, but there's an adjacent road which is very bad, and we had requested the RD to change or to do something so that we do not waste the taxpayers' money, and it seems they are saying that their hands are tight. So why would we actually lose money on the road of Kaptel Chomisia while there's an adjacent road that is not good, and this one else has been done? So please intervene. Thank you so much.
Honorable Cabinet Secretary, I think those are the last questions. I think that Honorable Marianne Aldai, I think already the substantive speaker has already ruled that that was going to be the last intervention. All other questions will be brought up in 2 weeks' time when the Cabinet Secretary comes to the House. I think that was the agreement. Proceed, Waziri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Because these are substantive questions, let me beg to come with comprehensive answers in the next sitting within 2 weeks. But for Mheshimiwa Paul Biegon's question, the challenge on Danger Chemuswa, I think Chepterit Keses, is it Lesos, that junction C36, Mo University, which is also with China Railway number 10. If you took time to look at the appropriation, you'll realize that the bending bill on this road is, I've just checked quickly, and the bending bill is at 734 million Kenya shillings, 734.3 million Kenya shillings. We only appropriated 91.3 million. So even after paying the 91, which we haven't paid because of exchequer release, but we are working on that, we'll still have a 600 million plus. We've taken it as a road of interest, and we are trying to get the contractor back to site. In fact, this is why I was saying that this contractor partly last week. He has undertaken that if we pay him another 300 million Kenya shillings, he should be able to resume work and accelerate work because, like I said, he's a contractor with means and he has got many other contracts across the country. We are working around to ensure that in the next few days he's back at work. So we are working on his payments. We want to make sure that we bring down that pending bill even ahead of the securitization funding. We'll bring that pending bill down by about 50% and get him back to work. For the other detailed questions, allow me to come with detailed answers as we continue to work together. And I think even in 2 weeks, I would probably be reporting how far we are on the securitization and getting all the contractors back to work, ensuring that, first and foremost, all the roads are motorable, so that even when they down the tools, they do not really hold us at ransom. Honorable members, let me thank the House for the engagement this afternoon and commit that I will do my best to ensure that we do provide infrastructure that will support the economy in terms of movement of goods and movement of people in the way modern economies do provide infrastructure for their population. Thank you.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary. I think you may take your leave. Honorable members, I think we'll move to the next order.
Order number 9, the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024, second reading.
Honorable Osoro, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Cooperative Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Honorable Speaker, the bill as presented before this House seeks to provide for a legal framework that promotes a sustainable and competitive cooperative sector for socio-economic development in a devolved system of governance, and also to give effect, effect to Article 186 and the 4th schedule to the Constitution. The bill, Honorable Speaker, also seeks to promote uniform norms and standards in the registration, regulation, supervision, and management of cooperatives, and also establish a framework for constitution and cooperatives among counties. Honorable Speaker, this bill further seeks to establish the Office of the Commission or Commissioner for Cooperative Development at the national level, and the Office of the County Director for Cooperatives at the county level, and also it provides the intergovernmental cooperative relations. Honorable Speaker, the Office of the Commissioner for Cooperative Development will be responsible for the promotion, registration, and regulation of cooperatives and provide for the intergovernmental cooperative relations. Honorable Speaker, this bill further seeks to introduce the cooperatives 4-tier structure that composes of A, the primary cooperatives, B, the secondary cooperatives, C, the cooperative federations, and D, Apex Cooperative, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, the cooperative sector is very critical in the societal or socio-economic development in the country, and the realization of the government's objective of bringing down the cost of living, eradicating hunger, creating jobs, expanding the tax base, improving foreign exchange and balance, and inclusive growth. Honorable Speaker, the significant benefits that have accrued to Kenyans through the cooperatives include employment and wealth creation. And besides, the traditional areas of agriculture production, processing and marketing, the strength of cooperatives is currently felt in several areas, Honorable Speaker, and they include the finance, the real estate, the value addition, education, health, transport. You all see SACCOs and cooperative societies in the matatu industry, mining, and several other commercial activities. Honorable Speaker, as we move this, it's important to also highlight the content of the bill as drafted, Honorable Speaker. The bill has 168 clauses that are divided into 17 parts and 3 schedules. Part 1 of the bill, which of course comprises of clause 1 to 5 of the bill,